Okay, so now I've got quite the animation. It kind of shows up, pop, pop, pop. The S slides in, the whack begins to fade in, and I'm feeling really happy about myself for my 3-second thing. However, maybe I feel like, man, that whack really isn't showing up the way I want. So maybe I want to do just a little bit more, maybe if it had a glow or a shadow or a stroke. And that's the last thing here that I'm going to show you, which is the styles. So on this whack top layer, and let's go ahead and minimize the S so it's out of our way. Let's say I want that stroke to go. So again, the first thing that I want to do is set the end point. And basically, because this is the point that it fades in, we'll say a little bit after that, say just underneath the 20, I'm going to set a style keyframe. Now, this style is referring to layer styles in Photoshop, which you'll see down here under the FX option is the layer styles. Okay, so if I click that and say, let's say at this point I want it to do a bevel and emboss. So kind of watch up here as I click bevel and emboss, and it pops out a little bit. Now this brings up the layer style menu, which gives me lots of options. I can drag that a little bit deeper, I can increase the size, and you can see I can get all kinds of craziness in the word whack. I can soften it. And not only am I stuck on bevel and emboss here, but you might remember from your graphic design days, maybe I want to put an inner glow on. I can do a straight color overlay if I want the color to be a certain thing. And that is all kinds of different things that I can adjust on my outer glows, drop shadows, and strokes, and on and on and on and on and on. In this case, we're going to make a big stroke. And so again, I'm looking at the end point here. So I'm looking at what does my video going to look at the very end that's going to kind of leave my viewers. So I'm going to give them a nice stroke. I'm going to turn that bevel and emboss off because, well, actually I'll leave it on because it looks kind of like the letters there. And maybe I'll turn the size of the bevel and emboss down. And you just get to play around with this, honestly, until you get it the way you want. And we'll say that that's good enough. I say OK. And so what I've done is I've said Photoshop at this diamond, 2 minutes and call it 16, 17 frames, have it be a bevel and emboss and a stroke like that. So as you might guess, you can come back to the beginning, set another keyframe like so, and as long as my playhead's here at the beginning, I can come back to my layer styles and I can adjust them. And I can say Photoshop at this point have no bevel and emboss and have no stroke. I'll turn both of those off, and what Photoshop will do is along the way it will make up the difference. So it fades in, which we know from the opacity layer, and it kind of grows this stroke and grows this bevel. So you can do more extreme than that. You could have it change from red to blue using color overlay, or drop shadow to no drop shadow, all kinds of various things that you could do in there. Lots of times simpler is better because you don't want people having a seizure while they're watching your bumper. But that's a nice kind of simple effect that we did. So we've looked at 3 different things. We've done simple sliding with the position scaler with the letter S. We've done opacity, which is basically fade in, fade out settings on the whack top. And we've done the same style on the whack bottom. And now we have ourselves a nice little animation that when played looks really nice.